Welcome to our comprehensive guide on auditing the revenue cycle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Auditing the revenue cycle. That sounds about as thrilling as watching paint dry, preferably while stuck in traffic during a heat wave. And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. It's not exactly the stuff of summer blockbusters, but here's the thing. This seemingly dry topic is actually the beating heart of any business. It's where money comes in, ideally in a nice, legal and ethical way. Today, we're going to walk you through the essential steps and considerations to ensure the accuracy and integrity of those lovely, lovely financial statements. Think of this as a financial colonoscopy for your business. It might not be the most enjoyable experience, but it's crucial for maintaining good health. So buckle up, grab your metaphorical headlamp, and let's dive into the surprisingly fascinating world of revenue cycle audits. First things first, we need to identify the key players in this financial drama. We're talking about your big hitters like sales, the lifeblood of any business, and accounts receivable, where we keep track of who owes us money. Because let's be honest, following up on invoices is everyone's favorite pastime. Then we have the disclosures, the often overlooked footnotes of the financial world. They may seem about as exciting as reading the ingredients list on a cereal box, but trust me, they can reveal a lot about a company's revenue recognition practices. And finally, we have the assertions, completeness, accuracy, and occurrence. These are the fundamental principles that underpin the reliability of financial reporting. Think of them as the financial equivalent of the 3 laws of thermodynamics. Break them, and you're in for a world of trouble. Completeness ensures that all transactions are recorded, because what good is a financial statement that's missing a few crucial zeros, right? Accuracy guarantees that the numbers are actually, accurate. And occurrence confirms that the reported transactions did in fact occur. It's like making sure your dog didn't just eat your homework, but also that they didn't eat the teacher's pet hamster while they were at it. It's about covering all your bases and making sure everything adds up. This meticulous attention to detail may seem tedious, but it's the foundation upon which a reliable audit is built. So let's put on our detective hats and start digging into the nitty-gritty of these crucial accounts and disclosures. Now let's talk about the fun part, the inherent risks of material misstatement, because let's face it, even with the best of intentions, things can go wrong. It's like assuming your toddler-proof locks will actually deter a determined toddler. Spoiler alert, they won't. One major culprit is complex revenue recognition policies. These can be more convoluted than a Christopher Nolan film plot, leaving ample room for error or, dare I say, manipulation. Then we have the sheer volume of transactions. Imagine a tsunami of receipts, invoices, and purchase orders crashing down on your desk. It's enough to make anyone reach for the aspirin. And let's not forget about those pesky estimates. Trying to accurately predict future revenue can feel like trying to predict the weather in a hurricane. It's a guessing game, albeit one with potentially disastrous consequences. So, how do we navigate this minefield of potential misstatements? By being aware of the inherent risks and implementing robust controls to mitigate them. Think of it as wearing both a belt and suspenders. Sure, it might seem excessive, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Remember, even the most well-intentioned companies can fall prey to these risks. Our job is to approach the audit with a healthy dose of skepticism, questioning assumptions and digging deeper to uncover any potential issues lurking beneath the surface. Because when it comes to financial reporting, transparency is key, and nobody wants to be caught with their pants down, especially when there are auditors around. Now brace yourselves, because we're entering the dark underbelly of the revenue cycle fraud risk. This is where things get really interesting or terrifying, depending on your perspective. We're talking about deliberate misstatements, cooked books, and outright lies designed to deceive investors and paint a rosier picture than reality. It's the financial equivalent of putting lipstick on a pig, except the pig is your company's balance sheet, and the lipstick is made of pure deception. One classic tactic is revenue overstatement. Think of it as the corporate version of exaggerating your height on a dating profile. Sure, it might impress at first, but eventually the truth comes out. Then we have fictitious sales, which are exactly what they sound like, completely made-up transactions designed to inflate revenue. It's like claiming you sold 1,000 units when in reality you're still trying to give those fidget spinners away for free. And let's not forget about improper timing of revenue recognition, where companies manipulate the timing of revenue recognition to meet targets or smooth out earnings. It's like cramming all your expenses onto next month's credit card bill so you can pretend you have more money to spend today. These fraudulent activities can have devastating consequences, eroding investor trust and potentially leading to legal repercussions. Our job as auditors is to be vigilant, to channel our inner Sherlock Holmes and sniff out any whiff of impropriety. Remember, fraudsters are masters of disguise, often hiding in plain sight. But by understanding their tactics and maintaining a healthy dose of skepticism, we can unmask their deception and ensure the integrity of financial reporting. Chapter 4. Control risks, building Fort Knox for your finances. Now that we've explored the treacherous terrain of inherent and fraud risks, let's talk about how to protect ourselves. Control risk. Think of these as the financial equivalent of building a Fort Knox around your revenue cycle. Because, let's face it, you wouldn't leave a vault full of cash unguarded, would you? Internal controls are the unsung heroes of financial reporting, working tirelessly behind the scenes to prevent errors and deter fraud. They're like the diligent security guards of your financial system, checking IDs, monitoring activity, and generally making sure everything is on the up and up. One crucial control is segregation of duties. This means dividing responsibilities related to revenue cycle transactions so no single person has complete control. It's like the classic two people to launch a nuclear missile scenario. Except instead of global annihilation, we're trying to prevent embezzlement. Then we have authorization controls, which ensure that only authorized personnel can approve transactions. Think of it as a financial bouncer, only allowing those with the proper credentials to enter the VIP section of your accounting system. And of course, no security system is complete without documentation. Proper documentation provides an audit trail, allowing us to trace transactions back to their source and identify any red flags. It's like leaving breadcrumbs in the forest, except these breadcrumbs could lead to the discovery of financial irregularities. By implementing and maintaining effective internal controls, companies can significantly reduce the risk of material misstatements. It's like installing a state-of-the-art alarm system in your home. It might not prevent all crime, but it certainly makes it a lot harder for burglars. So let's fortify those financial fortresses and ensure that our revenue cycle is as secure as a well-guarded vault. Because when it comes to protecting assets, complacency is not an option. Chapter 5. Preliminary Analytical Procedures, Spotting the Financial Quirks. Now that we've fortified our financial fortress, it's time to put on our detective hats and start looking for clues. This is where preliminary analytical procedures come in. Think of it as the financial equivalent of dusting for fingerprints. We're looking for any anomalies or unusual patterns that might indicate a problem. One powerful tool in our arsenal is ratio analysis. By comparing key financial ratios over time, we can identify trends and spot any significant deviations from the norm. It's like noticing that your usually frugal roommate suddenly started buying champagne and caviar. It might be nothing, but it's definitely worth investigating. Then we have trend analysis, which involves looking at historical data to identify any unusual patterns or fluctuations. It's like noticing that your usually punctual friend is consistently late. It could be a coincidence, or it could be a sign of something more serious. And let's not forget about the good old-fashioned eyeball test. Sometimes, simply scanning the data for anything that looks out of place can reveal red flags that might otherwise go unnoticed. It's like that feeling you get when you walk into a room and sense that something's not quite right. Trust your instincts and investigate further. By using these analytical procedures, we can gain a better understanding of the company's financial performance and identify areas that may require further scrutiny. It's like conducting a preliminary interview with a suspect. We're gathering information and looking for any inconsistencies that might warrant further questioning. Remember, the goal here isn't to find fault, it's to gain a comprehensive understanding of the company's financial health and ensure that the reported numbers are a fair and accurate representation of reality. Because when it comes to financial reporting, transparency is key, and nobody wants to be caught with their pants down, especially when there are auditors around. Chapter 6. Responding to risks, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Okay, so we've identified some risks. Now what? This isn't the time for complacency or, God forbid, denial. This is when we roll up our sleeves and formulate a plan of attack. It's like realizing you've wandered into a dangerous neighborhood. You don't just stroll along whistling a happy tune. You assess the situation and adjust accordingly. First and foremost, we need to update our audit plans. Remember those meticulously crafted documents outlining our audit approach? Well, if our risk assessment has changed, our audit plan needs a makeover too. It's like realizing you packed for a beach vacation when you're actually going on a ski trip. Time to swap out those swim trunks for some thermal underwear. Next up, we need to increase our substantive testing. This means gathering more evidence to support the financial statement assertions. Think of it as gathering evidence in a court case. The more compelling the evidence, the stronger our case. We're talking about confirmations, vouching, analytical procedures, the whole 9 yards. And let's not forget about good old-fashioned professional skepticism. This means approaching the audit with a questioning mind, never taking anything at face value. It's like being a journalist investigating a juicy scoop. Question everything, verify sources, and never assume anything. Remember, responding to risks isn't about being alarmist, it's about being proactive. It's about recognizing that things can and do go wrong, and taking the necessary steps to mitigate those risks. It's about approaching the audit with a healthy dose of paranoia, because in the world of auditing, it's always better to be safe than sorry. So, let's strap on our metaphorical body armor, adjust our audit plans, and prepare to face those risks head-on. Because when it comes to protecting the integrity of financial reporting, we don't mess around. All right, remember those internal controls we talked about earlier, the financial equivalent of Fort Knox? Well, now it's time to put them to the test, because let's face it, even the most impressive-looking security system is useless if it doesn't actually work. It's like having a guard dog that's more interested in belly rubs than protecting the house. Adorable, but not exactly effective. Tests of controls are designed to evaluate the effectiveness of those controls in preventing, detecting, and correcting material misstatements. Think of it as a financial fire drill. We're simulating a crisis to see how well the system holds up under pressure. One common test is the walkthrough, where we follow a transaction from its origination to its inclusion in the financial statements. It's like tracing a package from the warehouse to your doorstep. We're making sure it goes through all the proper channels and arrives at its destination intact. Then we have control testing, where we select a sample of transactions and perform specific procedures to verify that the controls are functioning as intended. It's like testing a smoke detector. We're not waiting for an actual fire to see if it works. We're simulating the situation to ensure it's functioning properly. The results of these tests can tell us a lot about the company's control environment. If we find that controls are weak or non-existent, it increases the risk of material misstatements. It's like finding out that your guard dog is actually a Chihuahua, cute, but not exactly intimidating to potential intruders. On the other hand, if we find that controls are strong and operating effectively, it provides us with greater assurance over the reliability of the financial reporting. It's like having a well-trained Doberman Pinscher guarding your home. You can sleep soundly, knowing that your assets are well protected. So let's put those controls through their paces and see what they're made of. Because when it comes to financial reporting, a robust control environment is crucial for ensuring the accuracy and reliability of the numbers. All right, we've assessed the risks, tested the controls, and now it's time to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty. This is where substantive audit procedures come in, the bread and butter of the audit process. It's like being a detective gathering evidence. We're looking for that smoking gun that either confirms or refutes the financial statement assertions. One powerful tool in our arsenal is confirmation of receivables. This involves contacting customers directly to confirm the amounts they owe. It's like calling your friend to confirm that they did, in fact, borrow $20 from you. Because, let's be honest, memories can be fuzzy, especially when it comes to money. Then we have vouching sales transactions, where we trace a sample of recorded sales back to the supporting documentation, like invoices and shipping documents. It's like checking the receipts after a shopping spree. We're making sure that everything purchased was actually received and accounted for. And let's not forget about reviewing subsequent events. This means examining any events that occur after the balance sheet date, but before the audit report is issued. It's like checking your mailbox one last time before going on vacation. You never know what might have arrived at the last minute. These are just a few examples of the many substantive procedures we perform during an audit. The specific procedures we choose will depend on the nature of the company's business, the assessed risks, and our professional judgment. It's like choosing the right tool for the job. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, would you? By performing these procedures diligently and thoroughly, we can gather sufficient appropriate audit evidence to support our opinion on the fairness of the financial statements. It's like putting together a puzzle. Each piece of evidence brings us closer to the complete picture. So, let's grab our magnifying glasses, dust off our calculators, and dive into the nitty-gritty of substantive audit procedures. Because when it comes to uncovering the truth behind the numbers, we're not afraid to get our hands dirty. Now we've covered a lot of ground, from assessing risks to performing substantive procedures, but there's one crucial element that underpins everything we do as auditors: professional judgment and ethical decision-making. This is the moral compass that guides our every step, ensuring that we act with integrity, objectivity, and professional skepticism. Throughout the audit process, we're constantly faced with decisions, big and small. Do we need to perform additional audit procedures? Is there a risk of fraud that needs to be investigated further? These are not always easy calls, and they require us to exercise our professional judgment, drawing on our experience, knowledge, and ethical principles. One key principle is independence. As auditors, we need to maintain our independence from the companies we audit. This means avoiding any conflicts of interest that could compromise our objectivity. Think of it like being a referee in a sporting event. You can't call the game fairly if you're rooting for one team over the other. Another important principle is confidentiality. We have access to sensitive information about our clients, and we have a duty to keep that information confidential. It's like being a therapist. Your clients need to trust that you won't go blabbing their secrets to the world. And of course, we have a responsibility to act with integrity and due professional care. This means being honest, ethical, and diligent in our work. It's about upholding the public trust and ensuring that our profession maintains its reputation for quality and integrity. Think of it this way: we're not just number crunchers. We're guardians of the public interest. Our work has real-world consequences impacting investors, employees, and the economy as a whole. So yeah, we take our ethical responsibilities pretty seriously. So let's always strive to act with integrity, objectivity, and professional skepticism. Let's be the auditors that we ourselves would want auditing our own finances. Because when it comes down to it, that's the ultimate test of our professional and ethical compass. So there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through the ins and outs of auditing the revenue cycle, from those crucial accounts and disclosures to the importance of ethical decision-making. It might not have been as thrilling as a Michael Bay film, but hopefully you've gained a newfound appreciation for this essential process. By following these steps, you'll be well equipped to handle the complexities of auditing the revenue cycle. Remember, it's not just about ticking boxes and following procedures. It's about applying your professional judgment, skepticism, and a healthy dose of common sense. Stay tuned for more insights and tips on maintaining financial integrity in your organization, because in the world of business, knowledge is power, and a well-audited revenue cycle is a thing of beauty.